So these are Marsabit, one of the driest regions in the northern hemisphere of Kenya, northern side of Kenya. As you can see, the infrastructure may be good, but this is actually the Great North Road. But the water issue, water is a big issue in here. There isn't much development focused on actually piping water to the homes in those areas. So we're going to explore exactly where these people get their water. It is actually a purchase. Water is actually purchased. So these guys you see passing by, they have to actually go fetch water. That's where we're heading to find out the situation, the kind of water they're drinking. So you have to purchase this for maybe 20 to 30 shillings, depending on the quality and the quantity of water. So for a 20-liter jerrycan, that goes for currently is 30 shillings. So you can imagine the cost of actually running a small household every month. So all the cost is actually going to water. So let's go see. So like that, you can see it's actually carrying maybe 20 to 30 liters of water. That cut right there. It's actually carrying could be even 30, of those 20-liter jerrycans they're going to sell to the town. So the thing about arid areas is that these are semi-arid area, is that you may encounter some sort of rainfall within maybe a few months of the year, but it's not a continuous amount of rainfall. So this is a 5 p.m. sunset. This is a 5 p.m. Eastern. This is the sunset. This word is called Butie. You can see in the sign right there. Yeah, you can see this is a 5 p.m. Sun, almost 5:36. It's a beautiful environment, but the issue is actually dry and hot. These are some of the donkeys they use to fetch water. As you can see, yeah, they come in handy when it comes to getting water. So I chose this evening time because the sun is actually bearable at this particular time. Because in the afternoon it's actually very hot. Right from morning it's very hot. So this is actually the best time to walk around, familiarize with the area. As you can see, there's a school right there for the hearing. Yeah, for the hearing impaired. Some water right there. Yeah. So I've been walking for close to 30 minutes or more than that, all the way from that direction up to this particular point. So this is where I've seen that you can see those trucks. Those are tuk-tuk trucks that are fetching water. They're coming from that direction, which means the watering point, as we may call it, should be obviously in that direction. So let's go take a look at that. You can see some donkeys in the distance. Yeah, they just use them to fetch their water like that. You can see all those trucks are heading towards that direction. So there's a diversion right there. Let's just go and see. So a donkey right there. It's a pretty small animal, but very strong, fetching her water. This one is looking a bit malnourished. Yeah, look at the way those bones are coming out. It's not that healthy. The entire place is completely dry. Although there are species of trees that can comfortably survive this environment, including the ones that you're seeing. Those should be the pawpaws and some mangoes. I think they're being watered. Obviously, they're being watered, but there's a species of trees that can survive this kind of environment. Our focus being water. Just go take a look at where they fetch that water. Marsabit County has a population of less than 500,000, to be precise, 560,000 as of 2019 statistics, and its main capital is actually Marsabit Town. Now to the north is actually Moyale, where I'm actually located. Moyale Town is actually the largest town in this county, and it serves as the main entry and exit point to the north of the county, which is actually Ethiopia. Oh. Generator anapiga anatoka huko. Alafu inapeleka hadi huko. Hadi juu. Oh. Mbeleni ilikuwa inapeleka? Oh, saizi haiko. Sasa wanachota wapi sasa? Wanachota wapi maji? Maji. Oh, hii yote. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay, sawa. Hiyo matofali ni yako? Matofali. Wewe unatengeneza hiyo? Oh. Okay, sawa. So what the old man is saying, probably the pipe you're saying, there used to be a pipe, or rather a well right here. Just take a look and see. Just close to where they are fetching water. You should be going there in the next few minutes. Yeah, I think you can see there's a pipe right there. It's a metallic pipe. The old man says that there used to be a well. Obviously, there used to be a well right here. I saw a sign. I think it was funded by the Danish department or government or something like that. So you can see that here. So there used to be a well. Yeah, a well was dug here, and then it was supposed to pipe all that water, channel all that water all the way to that direction to the town. But it's obvious that it dried up. So maybe the one who did the certification, or maybe the discovery, maybe there was a problem with that. Yeah, because normally this looks like a river, as you can see. It's a dry riverbed. So which means when it rains, as you can see, look at those they're like showing you where water flows when it rains or when it floods during rainy seasons. So this looks like a riverbed, and then the guys might have thought that this should be the perfect place, but the guy says that it dried up. Yeah, it looks like those are temporary rivers, rather seasonal rivers. Yeah, they just there during the during the rainy seasons. Maybe it stays for a few months and then it dries up, so they're not that permanent. Yeah, so but specifically this should be the area where you should get water. Deep down here, this should be the area where you should get water. Naturally, water should be between hilly areas or regions, because that's where it accumulates when it rains. You can see there's a kid right there with the see that it's not clear. Just get closer. They're going to fetch more water. Should be going. Let's go to see. So you might be asking yourself why the town doesn't have it's a town, rather it's a county of around less than 500,000 people, 450 something. I should get the accurate figure. This is as of 2019 statistics from KEBS, and you should be wondering why such a small town doesn't have piped water. Yeah, so earlier on, when they were drilling wells in that is in Turkana County, which is just a neighboring county, it's to the other side of the sun. Yeah, they discovered a well, a very huge well with a lot of water in it. Lots of water in it. So you may be wondering why that water is not being channeled to residents' areas for use. You might be wondering why that is. So we have more cats. spraying in water. Some are taking out water. Aje? Ini apa sasa? Apa manua? Aje. Iko chini kabisa. Naona. Naona. Kama inaisha huko ndani. Sasa hapa mvua inanyesha mwezi gani sasa? Lakini ni kidogo. Kuna mahali pengine wanachota?
Zimejaa huku sasa.
Oh, ni huku tu sasa.
Huku hivi hata na huku chini. Hapa hii area.
So this is where they fetch water. As you can see, the young man says that the wells are actually distributed in this area. So this should be the lowest point in this particular area, because there are several wells which are being dug. They're just dug by hand, and they are temporary, which means they can dry up anytime. So they are not that permanent. But I believe if you go deeper, you will find a lot more water, and then you can be able to pump it to the rest of the city. Let's just go to the other side so that we see more of these wells. Bari ndugu, memaliza? Oh, ndo unaanza? Oh, nikuulize? Hii ni shamba mtu? Sasa wewe ndo una nini? Unanunua tu maji hapa? Oh, okay. Sasa hii ndio tu mahali pekee wanachota maji? Yuko hata huku chini? Na mbona hii maji haiendi huko kwa town?
Ndogo. Ndogo, si ndogo. Kama sima ni kubwa, inaweza sukuma tu juu. Hii ndogo sana. Ile anaenda town. Hapo chini huko.
Iko ya town inafika huko?
Zamani lakini sasa
nini ilifanyika huko? Ilikauka?
Shida ni hapo mahali watu pipe nini ndio kulikuwa shida.
Amesema mwenyewe asonge mbele. Yatagonga hiyo nini? So this guy, this is actually the guy says that this is a personal, sort of a personal property. The land is actually personal property. So what they do is actually buy from the owner of the land. They buy water from the owner of the land. So you can see there are several wells, temporary wells, which are being dug right here. As you can see, the guy tried growing some kales or colored greens or something like that. Kales. They should be doing well. Well, some of it. It's a dry region, so sustaining this kind of green foods is a bit difficult, so you have to water them every day. You can see there's a pump right there, there's a guy with a pump right there, there's also another well right here, but these are just temporary wells which they are using. So basically the situation is the same. The solution I can see is very simple because it is just a management issue. Somebody has to be technical in the way they are, dealing with the water issue, because the water is there. The water is there. They cannot be denied that the water is there. It is just a management issue, which we have to solve right here. And I've actually identified the problem, and I think I have a solution to this. Yeah. Now, this being private land, probably the best thing to do is negotiate with the owner on what to do, because of course water is such a basic resource, and at the same time when it gets very dry, you'll find that people are fighting over it. So it is you just have to talk to the owner, negotiate, agree on what to do. If you have to buy the water or buy the land, then get the water straight to the people in town. The guy says that there was a project which was going on, as I highlighted earlier, but it stopped because, again, management issue. The county doesn't really seem to pay attention to the water situation, which should be surprising, because in a town you need water. Water is just a basic thing that people shouldn't be buying it. They just should be paying a small service for it, but they shouldn't be, buying it and spending a lot of time to get it. So you can see some kales here which have dried. They just sticks all the way to that region. So lots of them here, as you can see. I think we'll just visit the last site because the situation is basically the same. This is the lowest point in this region. As you can see, the whole place is mountainous. We are in like a gorge within like a valley. We are in a valley within the region. So you can see those are hills. All those are hills. The sun is actually setting. Those are hills, just surrounded by hills. Yeah. So the sound you hear is of generators. These are diesel generators pumping water from those wells. Temporary wells which have to be dug like maybe every 1 month, depending on the season, because right now it's February, which is a bit drier. The guy tells me that it actually rains during from April. It rains from April. You can see there's another temporary well there. It has been abandoned. So many. I can count so many wells in this region. Temporary, which means they're being dug by hand, and then they're abandoned once they dry up. Another one right there, another one's right there. There's another one right there. All these line as these are wells, and then it looks like what we are approaching, as you can see, is actually a seasonal river. You may call it a flood river because it actually shows up when there's a flood, and then the water stays for quite some months, a few months, and then it dries up like that. So this is actually a waterbed. This is a waterbed, and you can see that it's based on the direction of the flow of this sand. Look at that. This is actually also where they harvest sand. You can see in the distance some those are some donkeys. Yeah, which they used to fetch water like that. So all this is a temporary river. It's not a road, but it's a temporary river. You can see this side. This is actually the only side you can expect to find mud because of the water which is being pumped from that side. Some jerrycans there, which they used to fetch water. Another well in the direction right there. All these are wells. I can count, countless, even more than 100. Yeah. So there's some mud there. I think they were pumping this water, so those are ready to carry the water. Maybe you can just take a look at this. It's another well right there. It's a private wells because they are on a private property. You can see, yeah, there's some water there. It's not a well. I don't know what it is. It's actually a watering pot or area for I think those donkeys or any other animal. There's a well right there. I don't want to jump in because the guy has actually closed. And then there are more guys in the distance getting water. You can see more wells here. I think this one has been abandoned. It's no longer functional, working. I think this being a property, somebody just comes up with an idea. They dig a well. When there's water, they start selling it. I don't know. It should be 5 shillings or 10 shillings per 20-liter jerrycan. And then the guy has to resell it in town at 30 shillings. Makes sense because it's a bit of a distance. It's a very long, and then actually the distance to the town is actually hilly. The road is actually hilly. As you can see, another abandoned well right there. It's very hilly. Just finish with this direction right here. Ndugu, maji iko hapa? Unaweza kunywa? Ndio. Mzuri. So there's actually more wells in this side. Look at these giant trees. These are the only trees that can be able to survive this region. As you can see, like that. So basically, this is the situation. As you can see, so you dig a temporary well and then you fetch water from it once you're done with it. And some of them are not even sure because some of them, they look like they've been abandoned for quite some time. Like there's one right there. There's another one right there. Yeah. So they dig close to a tree because that's where, well, obviously you are likely to find water. It's another one right here. It's a very deep one. Yeah, this one is very deep one and also dangerous because those tree barks, it looked like this one actually collapsed within. So this is not a road. This is actually a riverbed. This is a temporary river. Not sure of the name, but it's a temporary river, as you can see by the formation here. It's not a public road. So that's the situation on getting water in Marsabit County, northern eastern part of Kenya. This is the northern region of Kenya. That's how the locals get water. So once they get to the highway, it's done for them, like that. Yeah, this was done by the Danish International Development Agency, like that. So many agents right there. So just piping the water. So even as the sun sets, you can see that the locals are struggling with the water issue, fetching the water downstream all the way to the town. That's actually a big challenge, and it's actually 7 p.m. that is at night, and you can see those small trucks filled with jerrycans spill, just passing by me like that. Even motorbikes carrying jerrycans full of water, like that. So you can see a truck there. This is actually could be carrying maybe 10,000 liters of water. So it has to be filled up. I think it's broken down, something like that. Yeah.